Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Make Our World Your Runway. This show is not only about pageantry, but it's about modeling, fashion, the entertainment, and even the business industry. And before I introduce my next guest, we do have a few announcements that I would like to share with everyone. As you notice, and every week, behind me is always 100 successful women in business. And we'd like to tell you about the most 100 successful women in business book that all of you can purchase at Amazon and Target. You will love it. You will read stories about some of the most amazing ladies from around the world. They will inspire you. I highly recommend to get that book. Also, registrations are now available for the next round of awards for 100 successful women in business, and which is going to take place in London, England this year. That's going to be very exciting because once again, we're going to have women from around the world that are going to share their stories. So remember, registrations are now open. Look out for that. And this Monday, the Global Trade Chamber magazine will be available. So definitely look for that magazine. It's excellent. I've been in there. Several ladies have graced the covers, and you're just going to love the stories of all the men and women that do so much in the business world. Also, if you're wondering why I'm wearing red today, well, February is Heart Month, and we do want to give a big shout out to the American Heart Association because they have done some wonderful things in the world of technology as far as medicine is concerned. Take it from someone who knows. Many, many years ago, and not to be a downer, but I suffered a massive heart attack. I was given 30 minutes to live, but with the technology, here I am and going strong. So don't play with your health. If you feel any chest pains, get to the doctor. You'll be surprised what they can do. And also a big shout out to the Olympics, which is going on right now, to all the athletes around the world. But I was so excited because last night it was absolutely amazing. In the men's freestyle short program, figure skating, Nathan Chen, who's representing the United States, took the top spot. Oh my God, his marks were like well over 100. So a big shout out to the United States team. I know they have a long way to go, but we're rooting for them. But we're going to do something a little different today. Before I introduce my next guest, we are going way on the other side of the globe. She is from India, and we are so excited to have her because she is going to represent our supermodel division in July at the next Miss International World pageant. And without me giving about all her acclimates, I'm going to let her tell you everything that she's done. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to Make Our World Your Runway from India, Simran Sharma. Welcome, Simran.
Hi, namaste.
Oh, I know in India we always do this. Akshata has taught me that
Yes.
well. So, how are
Yes.
you, dear? How's
I'm
it?
good. How are you?
I'm good. Are you excited about? I know you're
Yes,
excited about being on the show, but are you excited about coming to the pageant in July?
definitely. I think I have this feeling that's going to be so surreal, and every moment seems like it's going to be all worth it. So thank you so much for having me here today as well.
Oh no, it's our pleasure, and I know that you do a lot of work with Akshata. You've got a great director. I mean, we were so honored to have her in the title of Ms. International World. Okay, but today we are going to make this world your runway, and looking at some of the things that you've done. You're also you've got the title of Glamorous Goddess. You're Miss International World Supermodel. And I know you've also worked with the International Glamour Project. So, how do you juggle all these titles with everything that you're doing?
Thank you. That's a wonderful question to start off with. I believe that we are in this world to be active, to do our best every single chance we get, and
Yes.
to me this does not feel like it's a lot because I don't like staying at all. So for me, I think more the merrier, like they say. And I've had a wonderful time with the International Glamour Project since
Yes.
day one. It's been 2 years that I've been with them, and they are a very different pageant in India. They are the first pageant in India that breaks the stereotypical and view and the rigid parameters that we usually have, whether it's weight, height, waist size, And I love that about TIGP. So being associated with them and also coming to your organization as a supermodel, I am truly honored. So I think
Oh,
I can, yeah.
we're truly honored to have you. And like I said, Akshanta has told me so much about you, and we're going to get into the many things that you've done. And one of the questions I want to ask you, and we're very excited about this, and we're trying to get her for the next pageant. I mean, it's been 22 years since India has really won a main title in pageantry. So how did you feel when Miss India won Miss Universe?
I think all of us felt very proud. We, I think we were all celebrating for her, even though she wasn't with us. It felt like a victory for the entire country. So
Yes.
it was amazing. It was
And
absolutely amazing.
you know what was wonderful about that? I know your country went through COVID, and then you had gotten another variant, and you people went through so many lockdowns, losing so many people. And to get these accomplishments, for Akshata to come and win the main title of Miss International World, and then Miss India winning Miss Universe, that was really a fabulous accomplishment. So I have to give it to all the people in India. You
It's
guys
been
did
a
a
great
fabulous job.
experience.
And I think all you ladies that are going to be coming to Miss International World are going to do amazing. So keep up the great work. You've got a great coach. And I know that you work with the Dream and Believe Foundation, which Dr. Rakshata and Swaroop have found. So tell me some of the things that you've done with Dream and Believe and what that organization is all about.
Okay, thank you for the question. So, Dream and Believe organization, the foundation, is basically the International Glamour Project's way of telling every girl how to work for a community. And we usually pick a platform that we are passionate about. And for me, it's mental health. So
Yes.
we had, yes, so we had 90 days to raise funds for the cause that you want. And since I picked mental health, in the 90 days, I had raised around 1,110.85 cents in US dollars,
Wow.
which yeah, it's a stigmatized topic. So for me, I think raising that money and then utilizing it in the right way is something I truly value for TIGP and Dream and Believe Foundation. Even during the lockdowns, they've done a lot. We've so since we had so many contestants, everybody's given a chance to take a step forward and truly give back to society.
Yes, that's amazing. And I'm so glad that you mentioned mental health. And I do want to talk to Akshata. I would like you to say something at the upcoming pageant because unfortunately, and we mentioned it on the show last week, Miss USA, who was a
Yes.
former Miss USA 2019, suffered from mental health and took her own life last week. And I don't think a lot of people are that knowledgeable about mental health. It really is a terrible illness. You could be smiling one day and the next day you're taking your own life. And I think now society and especially the medical field is starting to really look into that. So I'm very proud that you decided to take that as a platform and raising the money that you did. That is outstanding. So I hope you don't mind if we ask you to speak about that at the upcoming pageant.
I would be honored. This platform is very close to my heart because there's a person in my family who suffers through a mental disorder, and for me, it's a very personal topic. So I would love to.
And another thing, with COVID, so many people that didn't have mental health issues really went through that. They got very depressed on lockdowns. They lost family members. I lost a few people. I had one family member that I almost lost. Thank God she pulled through. And I'll be honest with you, it was weighing on my mental health, but luckily, some of my family members got me through it and some of the things that I did. So that was a great platform. And I thank you for bringing that up totally. But you co founded an organization called Being Cindy, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Let us
Yes.
tell us what that is all about.
Okay. So basically, I co founded Being Sindhi Charitable Trust on August 7, 2018. And the reason why it's a big story, but I will try to sum it up in maybe 2, 3 minutes. So it's a human service charity, and we help anybody who is in dire need. So it could be anything for medical help, for clothing. And when we had the vaccination drive, we tied up with a couple of doctors and hospitals and we
Excellent.
vaccinated close to 350 people. for the first and the second dose, and we have
Wow.
another upcoming for the booster. Yeah. So right now we try to help anybody who cannot afford, these basic facilities that we take for granted, whether it's even ration kits for food. So we
Yes.
we ensure we give them grains in order for them to take it back home and feed their family.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. I know we've had some programs here like that too. Right now, our government has just launched a program where they're sending out test kits for free for COVID. We're also getting free N95 masks. And we have done a lot of food distribution programs. So that is excellent that you've done that. And another thing I read about you, you're a former tax analyst and you won a Spotlight Award for Climate Champion at Ernst& Young. Ernst& Young is around the world. That is a big organization. How
Yes.
did you get into that? I mean, is there anything that you cannot do?
You're truly truly nice. I have no words, but so I worked with Ernest and Young after right after college. So we had college placements, and I was the first pick of the day in college for EY, and I worked with them for close to 3 years as a tax analyst to a tax consultant, and I worked in all the departments of tax, be it direct tax or indirect tax, because we
Wow.
had GST being implemented here. So I wanted to learn all about it, and I believe that you should be able to. So when you give somebody your work, you should be able to have an idea of what they are doing. For example, as small as taxes, you need to know how taxes are being done by someone else. And I like the idea of just being independent, and I love numbers. So I think taxation was the best way for me to get into the big four and experience life. Yeah. It
You
was my
want to
first job as well.
you want to come to the States and be my accountant? I mean, you're from Ernst& Young. You know exactly what you're doing. I mean, that is truly a fabulous organization. Okay, so if you work for them, it's amazing. And something else that I read, you also secured first position for a nail art competition, and you also won the Western Singing Music in the Intercollegiate Fest. Like I said, is there anything that you cannot do? So tell us about both of those.
So when after school, so we have school from first to 10th standard, and then we have 11th and 12th here in India, and that's college, and then we have degree as degree college. So when I was just out of school, I had this passion for art, and I wanted to translate that in a different form apart from painting. And I started doing nail art because YouTube was very famous back in the day, and just like how Instagram is right now. And I started doing these DIYs on how to do nail art by yourself, and I got all the equipments, started practicing every single week rather. And luckily, we had a competition where we had 35 people participating. And that's how I won the nail art competition, because you do it under 30 minutes for
Wow.
both your hands. And regarding the Western singing, I've always been into singing. I love the idea of singing, and just I feel like that's a stress buster for me. So whenever
Yes.
I'm nervous, yeah, whenever and you would know, since you're from the entertainment industry, and I know you've done a lot for singing.
Yes,
I
I
read all about, yeah.
yes, I have. And how they discovered that is when I was a baby and I was in the crib. And where we lived, my aunt lived next door. My mother happened to have the window open one day. And I guess I was doing the scale at a very young age. And my aunt turned around and said to my mother, "That kid's going to be an opera singer." And it was that was the truth because I went on to become an opera singer. But I had three aunts in my family that were opera singers, and one of them even sang at the
Wow,
Metropolitan Opera. So I guess
that's
it was
incredible.
inevitable that I was going to become a singer. But in fact, they were telling my mother that before she brought me home in the nursery at the hospital, I was waking up all the babies at night. Two reasons. I used to love to sing on the top of my lungs, and I was always hungry. So they had to put cereal in my bottle because I'd wake everybody up. So I guess at that age, that was my entree to singing. So yeah, yeah. When you come to the
We
pageant,
hear that.
sometimes we have some downtime. We could definitely do a song together. That would be great. And
I
I
would
also,
love to.
yeah, that would be fabulous. I'm sure Akshata would love that as well too, and all the girls. So we will definitely work on that. And I also read in middle school that you were the class captain.
Yes, the
Another
entire
accomplishment
middle
that
school.
you have.
Yeah.
So that's great. I mean, at a young age, you've encompassed all. So, you know what? I see a lot of greatness in you. I see you doing a lot of great things. I mean, you took the plunge to go into pageantry, which I'm sure you know opens a lot of doors. But when you were crowned that night on stage, how did you feel? What was your first reaction?
I feel like it was a very exhilarating experience because I did not expect it initially. It seemed so surreal. I think even when I look at my crown right now, sometimes I'm just like, wow, this is mine. And I thought about my grandmother when I got crowned because she had passed away, I think, just a month ago. So it was a
Oh,
very difficult time for me. And she always believed in me, and she told me that, you know what, you can do it. As long as you believe in
yes.
yourself, as long as you manifest it and work towards it, you can do it. And when I got crowned, I think she was the first person I thought about when I did my walk after crowning. So it was a great moment for me.
Yes, that was a great moment. If you were thinking about your grandmother, that was fabulous. How I know 𝐒𝐿 is wonderful, but how have you liked working with the International Glamour Project? I'm sure you've got a lot of coaching from 𝐒𝐿 and Swaroop. I'm sure they've been a big inspiration to you and all the girls.
Thank you for the question. Like you said, we've got a lot of trainings because of COVID and the lockdown. So we have close to 43 sessions, Zoom sessions.
Wow.
And initially we were just going to have around 20. So they have been very generous in order to give us the exposure to a different level. And I think working with them has really made me understand what pageantry is. Because on the outside, pageantry is all about beauty and the external factors. But here you can really tell that no matter which pageant it is, it's all about inner glamour, inner beauty, personality, and bettering yourself and being the best version that you can possibly be. Throughout this journey, that's what I've learned, that no matter what you do, at the end of the day, as long as you want to better yourself, it's
Yes.
possible. And I think that's what pageantry is. Like you said, it opens doors to so many avenues apart from just the fashion industry, the modeling industry. It's also the business aspect, because if you have a pageant behind you as a winner, you can start your own things and make it
Yes, you
boom.
can. Yes, I agree with you 100%. I think so many people are very confused, when they look at the world of pageantry. They think it's just women parading on the stage in a bathing suit and a gown, putting that crown on their head, getting the flowers, and that's it. They don't realize that women like yourself have been very educated, have worked with foundations, have started their own foundation. And someone like you who made mental health your platform, which is something that really needs to come to the forefront. I think of everyone today, because again, mental health. I mean, you got people that'll just jump off a building. You've had people that have just taken a gun and shot people and then killed themselves, all because they're suffering from something. So you've said a mouthful there. Pageantry does open doors, and I'll give you an example. One time when I went for a job, and they always say you should have a resume, but have a functional resume to show some of the other things that you do. And when I went in for the interview, they saw that I was Mrs. New Jersey Globe. And they liked that
In
because
1996, I
I
know this.
yeah, New Jersey Globe, yeah. And they felt that I kind of went out of the box, that I did something different. And I got the job, and I'm sure there were a lot of candidates that were great, but I think they selected me because they felt that I did something and that I was able to go that extra mile. So just by having that title and putting that title on your resume, you're right. It's not going to only open doors in pageant and other pageantry, organizations, but it will open doors in business. And the things that you've done, I think you've unlocked the key to a lot of things. So you should be very proud of yourself.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So I know that you've had a lot of accomplishments, but you've done a lot of appearances. What appearances have you done with the title?
So initially, as soon as I came back, I think the COVID cases increased, but I started booking
Yes.
appearances because I wanted to make the most of this title. So we had Diwali as soon as I came back home. So I did two of the Diwali appearances as guest of honor for the event. And then I also judged my own college. I was the main judge for a event called 𝐒𝐿𝐲 that
Yes.
happened. Yes, and after which I've done a recent appearance that just happened for a billiards club. It was a billiards tournament that happened for a week, and I was the guest of honor for it.
Wow. That is great. Question I do have for you. If when you come to the pageant and you were to win the title of Miss International World Supermodel, what would you do with that title? What would your first reaction be? And then what would you do with that title going forward?
I love this question. Thank you for asking. I think it would be an honor to win this title because Dr. Akshata ma'am is the first Indian to win Miss International World 2020, 21, 22.
Yes.
And for me to win the supermodel category would make me the first person in my country, which would be a big pride for me. And I think just to think about it makes me feel very, very proud of myself at this point. So I think I would really feel like I've achieved something big for my country. And
Yes.
coming to how I would promote the title, not many people in my country believe that supermodels could, just do a lot more. They think, okay, supermodel, that means she would just do this. And I'm here to tell them that no, you can do whatever you want even after being a supermodel. You can run your own business, you can start your own trust, you can do a lot of community service. And mainly, I want to take mental health to a global platform. And this would
Excellent.
give me that because
Ex-
initially I had because of Dr. Akshita and Dr. Swaroop, we got the national exposure of how to take it to a different level because I could just raise awareness to my friends and family about mental health to destigmatize it. But thanks to them, it's gone to a national level. And now, if I win the title, it will go to a global level. And for
Yes.
me, I believe that we can make a better world for our minds together.
And you know what? You just said something. Taking something to a global level. And that's something that I think about every day. You start out small. They always say you got to crawl before you can walk, and then you got to walk before you can run. And I think and you're actually following that equation, which is excellent. And you're right. You've got it on your level now. But even if I'm just going to say, even if you didn't win that title, you could still take that platform to a global level because it's something that I can see as your passion. It's definitely something that I'm very passionate about. Okay, mental health and climate change are the two things. And right now, Ekshatra and I are working on things even about ambassadorship with the United Nations. So we're going to open doors where you can really take that platform and all the ladies that she has into that global level. So
That would
again,
mean the world to me. That would mean the
oh,
world to me.
believe me, it means the world to us too, because we can always say, and especially Akshata, she could always say, look at the girls that I've coached, look at what I've done, and look at where they've gone. And I know that she gives you ladies all the tools that you need to walk through that door. In fact, if you look at our
Absolutely.
motto for Miss International World, we say we're more than a pageant, more than beauty. We are a way of life for women because we provide you with all the opportunities that you need to take that next step and walk through that door. So I think that's why Shanta and I work so well because we're definitely on that same wavelength.
Good. Yeah.
But what do you do in your spare time? I mean, you do so much. Do you ever have any downtime? I mean, spending
I
time with
do.
family
I
or
do.
what are some
So
of your hobbies? What do you like to do?
I love reading. I'm actually reading this book called Think Like because my
Wow.
friend gave that to me as a book that I should be reading. So I'm looking out to just calm my mind down a little more than what it is already and to get more peace. And I believe that this book could do just that. And yeah, so lately I've been reading. Apart from reading, I love watching shows and movies and with my family. So we do a lot of movie nights here. Yeah.
Oh my God, you just said that. On Saturday nights, I'm a big science fiction buff. Okay, so
Amazing.
my passion is I because we have one channel where it's all science fiction on a Saturday night. It starts from 8 o'clock and goes right up to like 3 in the morning. So
Oh
what I do
wow.
is I make sure about 5 o'clock I take a nap so I can stay up
Makes
and
sense. Yeah.
I can watch. That is how I relax. And my mother always says to me, "You call that relaxing?" She said, "You're going out of this world." I said, "Believe me, going out of this world is relaxing because I know a lot of what I'm watching is fictitious and it's not real." So it's funny you should say movies because that's what I do on a Saturday night. Just make sure I catch up on all my science fiction movies. And like I said, we have one channel. That's it from 8 o'clock on. That's all it is.
I
So
love that.
oh yeah, I love that. You know what? I always wanted to go into outer space. Laugh, but it's not impossible because we got all these people now, like a Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, that are
Yeah.
just having people go up into outer space. So my husband keeps telling me, "Why don't you just put your name in?" He said, and I said, "Yeah, could you just see me being shot up in a rocket? But it would be a
Yeah.
first." So I think as I keep thinking about it. And it's funny that you should mention that. Our Miss Latina International, she wants to become a NASA engineer and she wants to go into outer space. Really? Okay. So we are working on getting her with NASA to become a NASA engineer. Okay. Cynthia Hernandez.
That's
And
amazing.
it's not far fetched. So we're working on that. And
Yeah.
I think she's going to be amazing because when you give her figures, she just calculates them right in her head. And she knows the numbers and the speed, what it takes to actually get into outer space. So I'm glad you did mention that. But anyway, we just have a couple of minutes left. So I just want to know what your future goals are and what you would like to say in your closing remarks to our audience.
Amazing. I'll do that. I just realized we both are wearing red because of February being the month of love.
Exactly. That's right.
You look
That's right.
stunning, by the way. Yeah.
And so do you. Thank you.
Thank you. So, for my future plans, I recently launched my own dry fruit store because I figured that, with COVID, preventing our day to day lives, I figured that we could utilize this to have stronger immunity and end up, just opening the store because of COVID, I feel, because I wanted people to have stronger immunity. So I feel like I want to take that to a different level. And apart from that, like I said, my platform for mental health is something I'm really looking forward to take ahead in the future.
That sounds fabulous. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. The great, Simran Sharma, who is our current reigning Miss International World Supermodel India. And we want to remind all our viewers to subscribe to the Global Trade Chamber TV. That's where you'll see all our interviews on Make Our World Your Runway. And next Thursday night, you will actually see Simran live. So thank you so much, Simran. It's been a pleasure. We hope to see you in July. I know we will. And thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm truly grateful for this. Thank you.
Thank you so much and have a great evening and have a great weekend. Well, there you are, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, remember to subscribe to the Global Trade Chamber TV on YouTube. And remember to tune in every Thursday night where you'll see a special guest on Make Our World Your Runway. Thank you so much for joining. We'll see you again.